Welcome back to Sprague Homestead for another day here on the farm. So we are getting started this week on a lot of our fencing that we had planned. So here it is, almost tomorrow is May 1st. So call it February, March, not May 1st, March 1st. We're here at the end of February and we decided to kick off our fencing. So a couple reasons to jump start this project now is that normally we wouldn't do this until about April. And it's been so dry this winter that the ground is starting to dry up. So you can kind of see the road behind how brown it is. Normally it should stay like a dark brown because it's wet. And right now it's starting to turn to the tan. That means it's starting to become concrete. So we are right now laying out the fence line. And the second piece is, as much as we have now put in a gate, which I'll explain why, all these fence posts, we're still getting a lot of people trespassing across our property. Still not even sure why, because the next property next to us sold in November to a new owner. So yay, the neighbors we had trouble with in the past supposedly are gone, completely out. Property is under new ownership. But right now we're having so many people blowing past our no trespassing signs, going through this gate that I put in, and right now we're not even sure why, but we're going to try and stop it. So let me get down here with Nikki, who's walking this way, and we'll explain kind of what we're doing and kind of the logic behind putting in this fence. Down here with Nikki, you can kind of see this corner. Originally, when our past neighbors bought the property in here, we allowed them to move the easement back to their property over on this side. So this, if I show you, kind of pan around, this is a 40 acres next to the 20 we actually live on. So this is kind of just open field, and they have to go down this easement to down that way, and then their property is kind of that back in that corner. So they were supposed to always put up a gate, and after about 4 years, they had finally moved out and actually had this gate literally sitting out here, just laying here, collecting water basically, that they never put in. So I did this a week ago, put up this temporary gate just to kind of show, stop going back there, which has not stopped people necessarily. If I show you out here, I have laid debris because once I put the gate up, people were starting to go around the tree out onto National Forest Service and come in down there. So I went in, let's see, did we do this last night? All these fences posts? I think so. She's not listening to me. But we did put up all these fence posts either the last couple nights. All this line here I put in by hand. We started putting in some of these here, and then we started down that way going down. Now a lot of these were spaced out at 20 feet or about 18 feet going that way. So you'll notice if I zoom in, they're tightly spaced, and then they kind of jump up in spacing down that way. And that's because initially we were going to put barbed wire in, but we're going back in and putting in one at every 9 feet. So we're splitting the gap. And now we're going to run goat fencing so that the goats can come over here and graze.
So this fence line has probably been in 30, 40 years, and it's all fallen down. The red post that you see along this fence line actually was put in either by BLM or National Forest. We've never gotten a straight answer. But the fence has fallen down, and on top of that, when the neighbor cut the hole in the fence to put their easement road in, they were supposed to tie it off, and that's not what they did. They basically wadded it all up and threw it on the side of the road. So the fence has been getting progressively weaker, as you can kind of see. So what we're doing is we're coming back in, and eventually we'll put netting fence on here. But for right now, to get the barbed wire tightened up, we're coming back in and kind of backlaying the posts at the correct distance that we're going to need for the netting. And the reason we've done this is the barbed wire is, one, really old, and it's kind of, the way they laid it was weird, so it's kind of rolling up on us. So we've got the green posts in, and now what we're going to do is we're going to re-stretch the top wire and then take the second wire off, re-stretch it, and kind of go down through there. Not terribly tight because the posts are still kind of moving because the ground's really soft, but just enough to make a good barrier for right now. And then eventually we'll come lay some other stuff on top of it with the netting. But for right now, just trying to fix the fence the best we can. Once we get all the strands kind of laid onto the green posts where they're supposed to be, we'll come back through and we'll pop all the red posts out.
So one thing Nikki hasn't shown here is this is our 10-foot marker. This is actually a piece of 1-inch PVC. It comes in 10-foot lengths. So depending on how you're going to do it, you can basically just lay it out, as you can see from green to green. You can lay it out there, and it measures a pretty good 10-foot piece. You want 20, put 2 of them together. You want 15, cut one in half and stick it on the end. I mean, there's plenty of ways to do it, but this is just really kind of a foolproof way, or a dummy proof, or a Canaan proof way to lay out fencing, because I'm not great at stepping stuff off.
And that's the traditional way, is to step things off. It doesn't work in this terrain very well because we've got so many of the little goofy bushes and you're stutter stepping. So unless you're a real pro at stepping things off, and I'm not that good at it either, this gives us a consistent 10 feet and no guesswork, and it makes for a prettier fence when it's done.
All right, so here we are. We have fence posts all the way. So from this tree, the fence going that way is actually in decent shape. It's actually pretty well spaced, and we're going to fix some of it along the way. But as you can see, if I zoom in here, you see you've got red posts right through there that are pretty well spaced, that match kind of a 10-foot. So pan out, and I'll zoom around. You can see, now all of this honestly was 3 hits with the fencing hammer, which means it is seriously wet. So wet we couldn't take the bobcat, I just put them in by hand. But if I go down, you can see green and alternating red. Red is the original, green is what we are putting in now. So all the way down. And if I show you here, you can see there's barbed wire right there. This is the top strand that is just about to probably get a dog or something, but it goes all the way back. We've kind of taken it away from the fence, and we're going to string it now along the fence line and see where it ends up. So, all right, it is 4:30 and it's like 35 degrees, so we're calling it a day. We only have 4 fence posts left, so we've got to go buy some more tonight, but you can see the gate is closed for business. Fence is there. It's even starting to snow a little bit. So the top line there is put on in the very bottom. So you can kind of see some loose ones there in the center, that those will be restrung a little bit, and then we will pull out all these old red ones. The red ones, you kind of see they're not really in the ground. These are the originals, so they're 30 years old, something like that. And then we've got all of our greens in. Kind of makes you feel like Christmas a little bit. So many red and green out here. But as you can see, you're walking down. Once we get the other 2 in there, the other 2 strands in there, and then you're going to see us pull out these reds, and then there you go. If I squeeze in there, you can see all the reds and the greens, and that's it. We'll put the other 2 strings in there, and that fence will be in. So nice. So nicely done. We've been waiting 6 years to do this. We're finally just going to knock it out and get it done.
Alright, fences are re-stretched and tacked to the post with the clips. Last thing we're doing is Canaan is just going through there and pulling all the little red posts that were in there originally. Trying to pull those out, get those out of the way. Got a couple more and then it's all done, and this fence line will be complete.
All right, so there's the finished product. You can look all the way down. All the red posts are out, so now it is clearly green all the way down. And if I pan around slowly, you can see down to the corner there. So we're going to do some more of this up here. We're going to do some of that, and then we had talked about doing the extra pieces, starting this side of the fence over there for the road, just to give our new neighbors the indication that the road is it. You get 30 feet wide, that's it. So that's it for this time on Sprague Homestead. If you guys have any questions on how to do any of this fencing or what we're doing, how to splice barbed wire, anything like that, just let us know. Otherwise, we're gonna get some lunch and we'll see you next time.